What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? My name is Nathan. I'm one half of your Hill Brothers, and our North Carolina Tar Heels have just finished up out there in Fort Myers, Florida, unfortunately, with a 74-58 loss to the number 11 Michigan State Spartans. Man, this was honestly a really fun basketball game to watch today. I felt like both teams came out ready to play. And it felt like a heavyweight fight throughout very vast majority of this game, man. North Carolina and Michigan State have been meeting up the last couple of years, man, and each one of them have been really good games for both teams. And to see these two teams go back at it again, two teams that you expect are going to be really good throughout this entire season, really showed that off today, man. It was a lot of fun, and I felt like today North Carolina. Really, I felt like Hubert Davis went into his depth a little bit tonight. You saw a good number of players play some meaningful minutes. Obviously, Caleb and Jaron and Henry and Luca and Cayenne were all big time players today. But you got some minutes from Zayden, some James Brown, a little bit of Derek Dixon as well. Jonathan Powell had 23 minutes tonight, and Jaden Young came in for a little bit there as well. But Carolina, this is the first time big matchup they've had since they had Kansas back at home a few weeks ago now. And Carolina got exposed in some areas, and we had noticed some trending issues for Carolina, especially on the turnover side of things. And they got exposed a little bit of that as well tonight. At times, defensive-minded team in with Tom Izzo in Michigan State. Man, they are a really good team. They're a big physical team, and Carolina at times didn't handle that well, and then other times they handled it perfectly. I thought Henry, in my opinion, was a big-time difference maker for North Carolina today. Obviously, Caleb Wilson as well with 18. He struggled at times today. It felt like there was a lot of shots that he just kind of forced today. And it's just a learning curve for him. It's going to be a learning experience. He's been able to do that against a lot of the talent a lot of the teams that we've played this year. This one was one that matched up with him fairly well. I thought they did a good job matching up with Caleb today, but Caleb still made him pay. He had 18 points with 6 of 13, from the field. 0 of 3 from the three-point line. His three-point shot didn't do too well. 6 of 7 from the free throw line, which is good. And Carolina, Caleb, he did a good job of getting shots at good times, and other times he just kind of forced a little bit too much, like was shooting in double teams while he was kind of fading away in awkward positions. I want to see him clean that up a little bit, and I fully expect him to, as we go on, especially Tuesday being Kentucky at Rupp Arena as well. I'll be curious to see how he does against that team. But he didn't play bad by any stretch of the imagination. Caleb played great. Just some things you want to see him change a little bit. As a team, Carolina, was moving the ball consistently on offense, which is good. That was one thing that I was still curious to see from this team. I know Carolina's been moving offensively pretty consistently all throughout the year, but how would that look against a team that matches up with them very well? And today they moved the ball a lot. Now, Carolina missed a lot of open shots today, and everything looks better when the ball's going in the basket. There was a few shots that wouldn't drop, and ultimately it just wasn't the greatest shooting night for Carolina. 38%, 21 to 55. Some of that having to do with them getting 4 blocks, a couple of bad shots that we were being forced to put over. But I thought Carolina did a fairly good job today as well, man. And, even though the score is what it is, today was a learning experience for Carolina, this young team without their leader in Seth Trimble, their defensive guard, being able to go out there and hanging with Michigan State. Obviously, there at the end, they just started hitting everything in, under the sun. They just started dropping every basket, or every time they had a possession, man, they were scoring right there at the end. It just felt like nothing you could do about it. It was just going to happen the way it was going to happen. And tonight they shot 52%, 50% from The 3-point line going 5 of 10, and they shot 78% from the free throw line, going to 7 of 9. Carolina went 12 of 17 from the free throw line. That's 71%. Only 17% for North Carolina. The thing I want to kind of hold into there a little bit, which kind of led to this struggle tonight. Carolina went 4-23 from the 3-point line. Michigan State went 5 of 10. This was a team that worked from the inside out, and they didn't force a lot of threes. It felt like at times Carolina did. Again, now they also had some wide open 3-point opportunities that you want each and every game. And unfortunately, they just didn't shoot tonight. You hit a couple more of these threes. Things may be a little bit different. This may be a little bit more of a closer game. Who knows how the end comes down, all that good stuff. But Carolina, I think, is going to be just perfectly fine. Michigan State looks like a really good team. I think they went to Rupp Arena not too long ago and beat Kentucky by like 20. This is a good Michigan State team. This is not a, run-of-the-mill little, Michigan State team that's having, a bad year. No, this is a really good team. This is a battle of the unbeatens. And unfortunately, Carolina was the one that got beat today, 74-58. I want to continue to see Carolina working together as a team and gelling together. And to be honest with you, it really felt like you could see Carolina's continuity a lot throughout this game. The way they moved the ball, they were finding each other in spots, and it felt like this team had a rapport with each other, which is big time, man. That's something that you want to see continuously moving forward. I thought Zayden came in, and made his presence felt for a minute or two. But Carolina's got to figure out the backup center position. Henry Vassir is doing everything, man. This dude's an animal. And today he showed the ability to go up against a big center, a guy that's big and physical, and just take him down there in the low block. He showed that ability today, which is huge. What other center for North Carolina is going to do that? Is it going to be James Brown? Is it going to be Zayden? I don't know, but they got to figure it out, man, because Carolina needed some more post presence today, especially when Henry had to come off. Because Henry played 28 minutes tonight, got into some foul trouble there as well, and 3 fouls for him, 2 for Caleb, 2 for Jaron, 2 for James Brown, and he only played 7 minutes. Carolina, they definitely attacked Henry and Caleb today, trying to get them in foul trouble. They did that. And it forced some time for those two guys to be off the court. And Carolina is going to have somebody step up in that role, in that position as well, man, because if they're not, it's not a good time. Kyan Evans tonight did not have a good night. Was 4 points, 1 of 7 from the field, 0 from 5 from the 3-point line. Knocked down a couple of free throws, had a couple of assists, a rebound, 2 turnovers by himself. Carolina's got a lot to figure out there. And Kyan, he's doing this number right here. To me, Derek looked good in spots. I know he didn't play but just 8 minutes, but I felt like moving around. I thought he felt pretty comfortable at times, especially to be a true freshman. But this team needs Seth Trouble. I think we've understood that. And I want to see the guards continue to get better. I want to see how Kyan Evans bounces back from today. Luka Bogovic, he didn't have a great shooting night. 4-12, 1 of 6 from the 3-point line. But he was everywhere, man. And the baskets that he did make, he made them in very timely times, and it was big time for him. But today can be put in one thing. Carolina had a really kind of bad day overall, but they still went down to the wire with a Michigan State team that shot 52% from the field today, 50% from the 3-point line, 78% from the free throw line. Carolina is going to be a good team. I truly, truly believe that moving forward. Nothing about that for me questions that. But they have to figure out the roles. Guys have to get comfortable at this level. And this team has to continue to gel together, man. And I feel like they're going to do that here. These next couple of games, you had Michigan State today. turn right around, you go to Rupp Arena, and then you got Georgetown coming. So, I mean, Carolina's going to have a couple of more chances to play in some big spots like they're doing right now, and for those guys to get more comfortable. But Carolina just had a bad night tonight. It was just a bad night, and for them to have a bad night, I know it's 74-58. That last little run right there at the end when they were just throwing up anything, and I mean they just could have one-handed it from the other side of the court. The thing was probably going, and it was getting so crazy. It was a little bit more of a closer game than this. But the biggest thing I want to end on is defense. Defensively, I felt like they left the middle of the court kind of open tonight. There was a lot of times, guys, Fears and Cooper and Kohler were all just kind of able to get right there, and right there in the middle of the daggum court, right there at the free throw line, and just easy little floaters each time. When that's happening, I mean, it's chip shots. That's all that really is at that point in time. Carolina's got to cover the middle a little bit better. Swinging back out to 3-point shooters, especially when when Michigan State's in transition. A lot of the 3-point shooters that or a lot of the 3-point shots that they hit tonight a few of them came from transition, kicking out to the guy, the wide open, corner 3-man. You got to get better at that. And that transition defense all the way around, communicating on screens and pick and rolls and things of that nature. And just communication is going to be key for this team. They've got grit. They've shown that for sure. And Michigan State knocked down some pretty tough shots tonight. Credit to them for what they did. But Carolina's got some questions that they got to figure out defensively, and all around communication on the court, I think is going to be huge for them. Is going to be a huge point of emphasis, to say the least, going forward. Obviously, communication defense is a must, but a big point of emphasis for them moving forward. But I'm excited to see what Carolina does on Tuesday. Not the score that you want today. Don't get me wrong, but I will say, I mean, I'm pretty excited about this basketball team, and they had a bad night, and everything's going to be okay. They're going to be all right. Hubert's got to continue to figure out how to operate with this team. This team's got to come together and gel together a little bit better. And I think they'll do that, no problem. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comments below about this game right here. North Carolina losing to Michigan State, number 11, which also think about it that way. You lost to a number 11 ranked team in the country. It's going to be okay. One of these teams had to lose. Unfortunately, it was us. 74-58 was the loss to Michigan State. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. And as always, go Heels.